This is Mount Pleasant, Tennessee. Now, it's a small town about an hour southwest of Nashville, nestled into the Tennessee countryside. Now, it used to be called the phosphate capital of the world when brown phosphate was discovered here in the late 1800s, and it became a mining town. Now, it's no longer a mining town. It's honestly just a classic small town trying to find its way in the new world. It's got a cool little downtown area where there's a few shops and restaurants, but it truly is a one-stoplight town. Mount Pleasant is also home to my shop, the Big Tire Garage. Now, we're not a traditional shop. We're not open to the public. We're essentially a gearhead fantasy factory, but we're also a full production company. I get to come here and play trucks all day or make TV or video content for some of the biggest names in the automotive aftermarket. It's where I make all my YouTube videos, and it's where we make a bunch of television shows that you can watch on Motor Trend or stream on Discovery Plus. This video series is going to be about the building of my next building, but I've now been inside this space for almost 7 years, and I get asked so many questions about this shop that I thought I'd put those in the first video of this series to just explain my justification for why I chose to build another Miracle Truss building. Now, this particular Miracle Truss building is 44 feet wide, 80 feet long, and I have an 18-foot eave height, and that was suggested to me from the guys at Miracle Truss because that way I have a 16-foot clear span ceiling, which is important to me because I knew all along that at some point in time I was going to be dividing up this space with some type of mezzanine or some type of elevated structure, and if I put that at 8 feet high, then I'd always have an additional 8 feet above that, which is what I have. I put a shipping container right into the middle of this building to create two distinct spaces, and then on top of that, the shipping container also gave me some additional storage space as well. So it turned out perfect. This building so far, over the past 7 years, it has been flawless. I absolutely love this building. The design of the building with its open web steel trusses and its wood purlins with its full envelope insulation has really paid off in the long run. This entire building, 44 feet by 80 feet long with that 18-foot high eave, I heat it and cool it here just south of Nashville, Tennessee, with two 60,000 BTU Mitsubishi mini splits. It can keep this place a very comfortable 72 degrees all summer long, and it can keep it warm enough in the winter. Sometimes in the winter with the mini splits, when we get that below freezing temperature, we do have an issue with them not being able to keep up with the cold, but that's a function of the mini split, not the building. When that happens, I just take those days and just weld a whole lot here in the shop. I also have a front portion of this building that we call the office or lounge area, and I've put that on the front corner of the building. It is traditional stick framing that just integrates into the Miracle Truss building. The builder found it very easy to integrate the stick frame into the Miracle Truss structure because we had those 2x6 purlins every 2 feet sideways, making it easy to attach just a traditional 2x4 wall. The cost to build this particular building 7 years ago was right around $220,000 to $230,000. Now, I hired a contractor to do that work because I did not want to have to deal with a building this size on my own, and also the fact that it was a commercial building. I was not sure about the process for having that done, so I hired a general contractor to do it. On my next building, I'm going to be acting as the general contractor, and I'm going to be hiring my own subs to do all the work. The size of this building has been very good. The statement is true that you can never build a shop big enough, especially when you do what I do for a living, because it just ends up filling with parts and cars incredibly fast. This is what the shop usually looks like for most days during the week, and that is because the parts just never stop coming. As a matter of fact, just this week alone, this is what's shown up at the shop so far. 2 complete crate axles, a rooftop tent and an awning, 5 new wheels that I need to mount these Red Label crawlers onto, a new toolbox, another new toolbox, a third new toolbox, a new air compressor, a whole bunch of shop tools from a new sponsor on the TV show. So all the old tools need to be moved out of the way so the new tools can go in. And just a whole bunch of boxes of parts for the next time we film my TV show. And here's the UPS truck backing up to drop off even more. That delivery was a new welder, so I can set it up with my new water-cooled torch. Then add to the fact that I have a lot of project vehicles that are constantly either being brought into the shop to be worked on, or they're finished projects and they just need maintenance. Projects like my 53 Willys wagon, my smart car, my V8 swap Toyota, my two-door Gladiator, my goat-built race LJ, my M715, my new Bomber fab car, my 1960 C10 pre-runner, the original OG Big Tire Garage shop truck, my Nissan Titan that I'm going to chop in half and turn into a low-buck earth roamer, my classic Jeepster that I'm swapping a modern drivetrain into, and many more that honestly I forgot about when recording this. And the fact that I like to use the shop to help other people work on their projects. So the problem is literally space. And that's because when I had originally built this shop, I had a completely different plan in mind. The plan was to only use half of this building as an actual studio slash workspace. That's why this side of the shop looks completely different than the rest of the building. The idea was to dress it up like an old-time hot rod shop or speed shop that I converted into my off-road shop. That's why I have the fake brick wainscoting on the bottom, the burnt wood trim, and that old machinery green upper half, and just a bunch of cool stuff stabbed on the walls. But when I agreed to work with Discovery Channel and relaunch 4-Wheeler TV, which then became Build for Off-Road, they needed their own studio space. So this half of the shop became that studio. So a building that essentially was built to have one studio and another part of the shop just for storage quickly became 2 studios. Then some of you who had a keen eye, you also noticed that when we created CarCraft TV for Motor Trend Network, we used this space right here. Essentially, half of the shop space that we were using for 4-Wheeler at the time. We just flipped all the cameras around, moved everything off the wall, hung a new sign on the wall, boom, CarCraft TV studio. So a building that I had originally planned to have one studio space and a bunch of storage had quickly become a building with 3 studio spaces in it and essentially no storage for either parts or projects. Every time I wanted to film 4-Wheeler, we were literally moving everything off of this side of the building over to the other side of the building. And every time I wanted to do some Big Tire Garage filming, I spent the day moving everything off of the Big Tire Garage set over to this side of the building. And then if I was going to be away for a long weekend, I'm stuffing all my project vehicles in here. It was just too much stuff in a small space. So I knew I needed another building. And that meant one thing, a call to Miracle Truss. It's no surprise to anyone that I absolutely love my existing Miracle Truss building. If anyone asks me about it, I'll go on and on for hours about how great the building is. From the design of the hybrid structure using steel and wood, to the amount of insulation I have, to how low my energy bills are to heat and cool this building. The best way I can describe it to anyone is if you want a shop that's as comfortable as your house. And let's be honest, if you're like me, you're probably going to spend as much time in your shop working on your project as you do in your own house. Well, there's no better option than a Miracle Truss building.
Miracle Truss buildings are made right here in the USA, in fact, in northern Missouri. We're a web-style truss. A lot of people call them hybrid buildings. Uses a steel truss with wood for the secondary framing. We're not just using the strength of a beam itself, we're actually engineering the truss. Every building that we build, the webbing is different, the size, thickness of the truss, thickness of the materials is different. So it's built very much like a bridge truss is built, if you think of it like that. So the strength comes from that triangle shape and the webbing that we utilize. I mean, obviously the design being steel for strength, wood for flexibility, it gives you the best of both worlds. You're getting a high quality building that carries a lifetime warranty. a clear span ceiling, as you can probably gather from behind me, which gives you a lot of usable space vertically. And you know, it's something that you can build yourself. You don't have to hire a contractor. You certainly can. We call them DIY capable buildings. But our whole mission is to put you in control of your building process, so you can actually pick your building and get a higher quality structure that way.
So now that we understand why I need more space, let's talk about my plans for this particular piece of property and why I'm going to be building another building. The easiest solution for more space would have been to just expand this building. Simply add on to the end of it, because that's one of the nice things about these Miracle Truss buildings. Each one of these open web truss sections is a bay. You can add bays infinitely as long as you want, because you're not going to interrupt the structural integrity of the building by knocking the back wall down and adding bays. So if you want a building that it is very easy to expand on in the future, this is another great reason to choose a Miracle Truss building. I'm building a second building because I am looking at this piece of commercial property that I bought when I put up this building as an investment. And this investment will increase in value if I add more structures onto it. Because in the future, if I wanted to rent one of these buildings out, it's going to be a lot easier to rent out one building and then another building to somebody else, instead of trying to rent one large building to one person. Shop about this size right now where I am rents for somewhere between $5,000 and $6,000 a month. So you can imagine, if I decided that I wasn't going to make TV anymore, I don't need this space, and I want to rent it out, I'm looking at about $5,000 to $6,000 worth of rental income a month. If I have another building, guess what? That's another $5,000 to $6,000 worth of rental income a month. If I have a third building, that's another $5,000 to $6,000. Or maybe I plan the next building in a way that I can divide it in half, and instead of having one 44 by 80, I have two 44 by 40s and rent them out separately. I can do that, or the next owner of this property can do that. And when people are buying commercial property, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for that return on investment or revenue generation. So that's why my plan is to add another building directly behind this one. First lesson in being your own contractor is local politics. I headed down to my local city hall to see if the site plan that I'd already had paid to get made when I had my first building built would allow me to get a building permit for this new building. Spoiler alert, it didn't. No problem, thank you. All right, so no site plan approval because I didn't have my plants named correctly.